I absolutely do agree that it's a new paradigm, both in terms of the generosity and the breadth of its ambitions for learning, which are so more expansive than those that we usually come across, but also in the practical implications in terms of education becoming everybody's business and breaking out of the silos of educational institutions. And I guess if I start with that point, in terms of some of the obstacles that I see, the study that I did back in, what was it, 2018, 2019, we looked at a data set of about 50, and then we focused on 9 case studies. Your new report, Pavel, for which thank you very much, I've enjoyed it a great deal, has a bigger data set, and I think it's more informative in many ways. But for me, a big issue is whether we are capable of extending this paradigm, this concept, into the heartland of the schooling and the college systems, and that it does not become a kind of parallel system operating outside what states offer and mass education systems. And that would be very, very easy to happen. It just becomes a kind of a nice to have niche little kind of project that is happening in various parts of the world. I mean, I think you talk about mother of the movement. I would say the mother of the movement in many ways is LRNG in Chicago and what they tried to do. And because it didn't succeed, hasn't succeeded yet in really involving the schooling system. And it's a danger because the schooling system can suck it back into the old paradigm. But if you leave it out, you become a parallel, you become entirely dependent on philanthropic funding. You don't impact what the major system is trying to do, and you don't reach the mass of students. So I think that's enormously important. And so added to that, if I'm right, and if anybody, I see a couple of nods around the screens, but if that's right, then we have to acknowledge too what we haven't touched on yet, which is the kick that COVID has given to the mass education systems, the conventional institutions, how it's thrown them back in many ways. You could say it's advanced what they're doing because they've been required to integrate technology much more profoundly. Okay, but truthfully, if you talk to leaders and workers in most of the schools which are, currently working at distance, they're just desperate to get back to the old normality. That is their reality. They are desperate to get students back into classrooms. And the idea of them reaching out, forming the truly diverse networks and partnerships that you need to make ecosystems a reality is like light years away from their heads obsessions at the moment. So I regard these as big issues. Others may not, but I just think that if we continue to develop this idea, rich as it is, expansive as it is, separate from what mass systems are doing, state-funded systems are doing, it will just disappear.